Your brain is being hacked. Let's fight back. You ever feel like life's slipping through your fingers? Like no matter how hard you work, something's holding you back? Here's the truth. Your brain is under attack. Not by hackers or some sci-fi villain, but by invisible traps you didn't even notice. Toxic habits, energy-draining people, mindless scrolling. They're stealing your time, focus, and peace. And worst of all, most people never delete them. They just complain. But Stoics, they act in silence. No drama, no victim mindset, just ruthless focus on what actually matters. That's why today, we're deleting 11 things you've been carrying like dead weight. Not with loud declarations, but with quiet discipline. Because real change happens when you stop talking and start cutting. Think about it. When a lion hunts, it doesn't roar first. It moves. That's you right now. No excuses, no, I'll start tomorrow. Just you, this video, and the 11 chains you're about to break. And hey, if you're watching this, you're already ahead of 95% of people. They'll keep drowning in distractions. You're deleting them for good. 1. Toxic relationships. Let's be real. Some people are energy thieves. They don't just take your time, they drain your soul. You know the type. The friend who only calls to complain. The coworker who turns every conversation into drama. Or the family member who makes you feel guilty for setting boundaries. Stoics believed in one brutal truth. You become who you spend time with. If someone constantly leaves you feeling exhausted, resentful, or small, they're not a relationship, they're a liability. Emotional vampires don't just suck your energy, they steal your focus from what actually matters. Stoic fix. Marcus Aurelius had a simple rule. Ask yourself, what is this person's value in your life? Not what they used to mean to you, not what you hope they'll be. What are they right now? If the answer is stress, drama, or self-doubt, Stoicism says, cut the cord. Not with anger, not with a speech, in silence. Here's how. Detach emotionally. Stop expecting them to change. Reduce contact. No explanations needed. Replace their space. Invest in people who lift you. Imagine a friend who guilt trips you for saying no. Every time you prioritize yourself, they play the victim. A Stoic doesn't argue, they act. Slowly fade out. Redirect that energy to someone who respects your time. 2. Overthinking the past. Your mind is a time machine, stuck on replay. That cringe moment from 5 years ago. Your brain treats it like breaking news. What if I'd said this? What if they think that? Here's the hard truth. Overthinking the past is like paying rent for a house you don't live in anymore. Stoics knew this well. The past is immutable, literally unchangeable. Yet we waste hours mentally rewriting scenes where we're the hero. Newsflash, the audience left the theater. The only person still watching? You. Stoic fix. Epictetus' framework is ruthless. Control what you can, accept what you can't. The past? Can't touch it. Your reaction to it? 100% yours. Try this. Write it down. Put the memory on paper. Burn it if needed. Ask, does this thought serve me? If not, drop it like a bad habit. Replace with action. Stoics don't dwell, they do. That embarrassing speech in college? The one you replay at 3 a.m.? Here's the reality. Nobody remembers but you. The Stoic move. Use it as fuel to improve, or laugh at it and move on. 3. The need for external validation. You post a photo, no likes in 10 minutes. Suddenly your mood drops. Why? Because you've handed over your self-worth to strangers' thumbs. Modern society runs on this addiction. Do they approve of me? But here's the ugly truth. If you need constant applause to feel valuable, you'll never be free. Stoics called this slavery to opinion. Marcus Aurelius wrote in his private journal, "It's ridiculous to let someone else's opinion of you dictate your reality. Yet we do it daily, chasing likes, promotions, or praise like dogs chasing cars. What happens if you catch it? You realize it was never about the car." Stoic fix, Seneca's razor-sharp advice. If you live for others' approval, you will die by their rejection. The solution isn't to reject praise. It's to become indifferent to it. How? The who cares. Test. Before seeking validation, ask, will this matter in 5 years? Create internal standards. Judge yourself by your own rules, not others' whims. Practice secret actions. Do something meaningful and tell no one. Example. That colleague who subtly brags about their hustle on LinkedIn. Notice how they're always hungry for more attention? Now watch the Stoic, quietly skilled, unfazed by applause. Who's truly powerful? 4. Fake productivity, busyness as status. You wake up to 50 unread emails. Your calendar looks like a rainbow explosion. You feel important because you're so busy. But deep down, you're just a hamster on a wheel, running furiously to stay in place. Stoics saw this 2,000 years ago. Seneca called it being occupied, not productive. The difference, one fills time, the other fills purpose. Stoic fix, Marcus Aurelius's journal entry. Ask yourself, is this essential? Ruthlessly cut. Tasks that feel urgent but aren't important, e.g. mindless meetings. Habits that look productive but are procrastination, e.g. overplanning. Busy as an identity. Replace I'm swamped with I'm focused. That friend who brags about only sleeping 4 hours. Track their actual results. Often they're just tired, not effective. The Stoic? They sleep 7 hours, work 4 focused hours, and outpace the hustlers. 5. The victim mindset. Life screwed me. My boss hates me. The world's unfair. Sound familiar? Victimhood is addictive. It gives you an excuse to stay stuck. But here's the brutal truth. No Stoic ever changed their life by blaming others. Epictetus, born a slave, said, "Circumstances don't define you. Your response does." Yet we romanticize suffering instead of using it as fuel. Stoic fix, rewrite your narrative. Instead of, why me? Ask what now? Take 1% responsibility. Even in unfair situations, find one thing you control. Study survivors, not people who had it easy, but those who turned pain into power. 2 people get laid off. One spends months ranting on Twitter. The other learns a new skill in silence. Guess who comes out stronger? 6. Clutter, physical and mental. Your room's a mess. Your phone has 47 tabs open. Your brain feels like a browser with too many downloads. Clutter isn't just stuff. It's visual noise that steals focus. Stoics practiced minimalism not as a trend, but as mental warfare. Less clutter equals fewer decisions, equals more willpower for what matters. Stoic fix, the 90-90 rule. Haven't used it in 90 days, won't need it in next 90, toss it. Digital fasting, delete apps that fragment attention. Yes, even that one. 1 in, 1 out, new purchase. Remove something old. Example, ever cleaned your room and felt lighter? That's not coincidence. It's Stoic physics. External order creates internal clarity. 7. Your comfort zone, the silent dream killer. That warm, cozy feeling of doing what you've always done. That's your dreams being slowly suffocated. Your brain tricks you into believing safe means smart. But here's the truth. Your comfort zone is shrinking every day you stay in it. The ancient Stoics didn't have a word for comfort zone, but they had a principle. Obstacles are the way. They understood what modern science now proves. Humans grow only through voluntary discomfort. Yet we chase the opposite, the perfect temperature, the easiest route, the zero-risk life, and then wonder why we feel stagnant. Stoic fix. Seneca said it best. Difficulties strengthen the mind, as labor does the body. Here's how to break free. The 5-second rule, not the food one. When you feel resistance, e.g. waking early, speaking up, count backward, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and move. Your brain can't argue with math. Daily micro-challenges, Stoic style. Cold showers, Epictetus approved. Having that uncomfortable conversation today, not someday. Taking the stairs when the elevator is empty, yes, it matters. Reframe fear. Marcus Aurelius's journal method. Write down, what's the worst that could happen? Then, could I survive that? Spoiler, you always can. Finally, what's the best that could happen? Real-life example. 2 writers. One waits for inspiration in pajamas, scrolling for the perfect idea. The other writes 500 words daily, even when it feels like pulling teeth. In 6 months, one has a draft. The other has a notes app full of excuses. Durate. Other people's expectations. Your life isn't a Netflix show. You're living a script you didn't write. Your parents wanted you to be a doctor. Society says, get married by 30. Instagram screams, hustle 24/7. And here you are, exhausted, confused, and asking, whose life am I even living? The Stoics had a brutal term for this. Slavery by applause. You chase validation trophies, degrees you don't care about, luxury bags that impress strangers, relationships that look good on paper. Meanwhile, your soul whispers, this isn't you. But the noise of expectations drowns it out. The wake-up call. Marcus Aurelius ruled an empire but wrote, it never ceases to amaze me. We love ourselves more than others, but care more about their opinions than our own. Let that sink in. You'll risk your health for a promotion strangers respect, but won't risk embarrassment to chase what truly lights you up. Stoic fix, 3-step detox. The funeral test, Stoic shock therapy. Imagine your funeral. What are people actually saying? She always met deadlines, versus she lived with 0 regrets. Now ask, whose eulogy am I writing, mine or theirs? Expectation audits, Seneca's filter. List 5 things you're doing purely for others' approval. Next to each, write, what would happen if I stopped? 80% of fears evaporate here. The remaining 20%, that's your growth zone. The fuck it threshold, practical Stoicism. Every month, do one thing that would disappoint others but fulfills you. Examples, say no to a family gathering to take a solo trip. Quit the prestigious job to start a small business, post a raw, unedited photo with no caption, real-life rebellion. A 34-year-old lawyer secretly hated his job. His Stoic breakthrough? He started writing stand-up comedy at midnight. First show, 3 people clapped. 5 years later, he's a full-time comedian. His parents still introduce him as our lawyer son. He laughs, they'll catch up, or they won't. 9. Grudges, the poison you keep drinking. You're still mad about that betrayal from 3 years ago. You replay the argument in your shower. You imagine your perfect comeback. Here's the hard truth. The person who hurt you has moved on, but you're still paying rent for space in your mind. The Stoics called this self-sabotage by memory. Seneca wrote, to be angry is to revenge the faults of others on ourselves. Think about that. You're hurting you long after the original wound. The science of stuckness. Holding a grudge activates the same brain regions as physical pain. Chronic resentment spikes cortisol, the stress hormone, by 30%. It literally shortens your lifespan. Yet we cling to anger like it's a weapon, when really it's a leaky gas can in your own house. Stoic fix, 3 uncomfortable truths, the dead man test. Ask, if this person died tomorrow, would this grudge still matter? If yes, it's about deeper values. Address those. If no, you're arguing with a ghost. Write the letter you'll never send. Pour every vicious thought onto paper, then burn it. Symbolic release, confrontation. Fire purifies what words cannot. Marcus Aurelius, the upgrade challenge. Take the energy spent resenting and invest it in learning a skill that intimidates you, helping someone anonymously, building something that outlives the pain. Real-life alchemy. A woman cheated by her business partner wasted 2 years fantasizing about revenge. Then she applied that fury into launching a competitor. Today, she's thrived, not because she won, but because she redirected the poison into fuel. Mas Checker 10, fake Stoicism, when being strong becomes emotional suffocation. You haven't cried in years. You call emotions weakness. You pride yourself on being unshakable. But here's the truth no one tells you. What you call Stoicism is just repressed pain, wearing philosophy as a mask. The ancient Stoics never taught emotional suppression. They taught emotional mastery. Seneca wept openly. Marcus Aurelius wrote about his fears in private. Epictetus said, "He who cannot cry cannot laugh." Yet modern Stoicism has been twisted into emotional constipation, where people confuse numbness with strength. The deception of detachment. Avoiding grief doesn't make you resilient. It makes you a ticking time bomb. Chronic emotional suppression leads to explosive anger outbursts, the pressure cooker effect, physical illness. Studies link repression to autoimmune disorders, hollow relationships. You can't connect if you can't feel. This isn't Stoicism. It's spiritual bypassing dressed in philosophers' robes. Real Stoic fix, 3 counterintuitive steps. The controlled burn. Technique. Set a 15-minute timer to fully feel an emotion, rage, grief, envy. Scream into a pillow. Write vicious truths. Shake with tears. When timer ends, stand up and say, "I witness you. Now I choose what's next." Journal like a Stoic, not a robot. Bad. I must not feel anger about the betrayal. Real Stoic. I feel furious about the betrayal. Now, how does this serve my growth? Practice emotional spot cleaning. When triggered, ask, what am I really feeling? Name it. Where does this live in my body? Chest, throat. What's the next right action, not reaction? The modern Stoic's emotional toolkit. Cry without apology, then strategize, admit fear, then courageously act anyway, acknowledge loneliness, then reach out. 11. The illusion of more. When enough, it's never enough. You finally got the promotion. Now you need the corner office. Bought the luxury watch. Now you crave the limited edition. This isn't ambition. It's psychological hedonic treadmill. And it's draining your soul while you chase the horizon. The Stoics warned about this 2,000 years ago. Seneca observed, "It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more that is poor." Yet here we are, smartphones in hand, comparing our behind the scenes to everyone's highlight reel. The neuroscience of insatiability, each win gives a 48-hour dopamine hit. Then baseline resets. The brain's novelty-seeking mechanism evolved for survival, not happiness. Social media has hacked this system, creating perpetual dissatisfaction. Stoic fix, 3 ancient truths for modern times. The enough meditation, daily practice. Each morning, declare, "I already have everything required to be at peace." Not as affirmation, as observable fact, air in lungs, water, a mind that works. Premeditatio malorum, Stoic negative visualization, Regularly imagine losing what you have: health, home, relationships. Not to fear loss, to rediscover their value. The 1% return rule. Before any new pursuit or possession, ask, will this give me back at least 1% more daily peace? If not, it's clutter, not upgrade. Real-life application. A tech CEO making $10 million a year realized he was actually happier during his startup days. His solution? He now keeps a poverty simulation apartment where he spends one weekend month living like he did at 25. It reminds me wealth was never the goal. Freedom was. 11 chains broken. What's next? Let's be real. You just uncovered the 11 silent killers rotting your potential. Toxic relationships, overthinking, the addiction to validation, that victim mindset you've been coddling. But here's the Stoic truth: knowing isn't enough. Seneca said it best: luck is what happens when preparation meets opportunity. You're prepared now. The opportunity? Today, not tomorrow, not after one more scroll. Today. Think back to number 6, the comfort zone. Why'd it hit so hard? Because you saw yourself in it. That's the power of silence. No dramatic announcements. No Instagram posts about new beginnings. Just you, a decision, and action. The unspoken rule: Stoics don't preach. They do. So I won't tell you to stay motivated. Motivation is a myth. Discipline, that's your new currency. Delete these 11 things and something wild happens. You'll start automatically rejecting what doesn't serve you. Like your brain finally gets antivirus software. Example. After I cut out number 4, endless news consumption, I wrote a book in 3 months. Not because I was inspired, but because I deleted the noise. Here's your final test. DM me the hardest delete. Number 5, Wonbuthu? I'll reply with a Stoic quote to lock it in. Tag someone who's stuck in number 6, the comfort zone. Sometimes the best way to heal is to pull someone up with you. Save this video. When number 11 creeps back, and it will, hit replay. The ancients didn't have distractions, just choices. You've got both. What's it gonna be?